Alright, y'all, let's get into it. Sheesh. You know what, we here. That was low-key a flop.
This clip will go down in the basketball trash-talking Hall of Fame. Not because Devin Booker's trash-talking worked, not because he actually backed it up or anything, but because of the absolute obliteration that was to follow. Yeah. Devin Booker did not know it at the time, but this is where it all ended. A video taken moments before disaster.
Yeah. Damn, but yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Jimmy Highroller video. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, then make sure y'all hit that sub button, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button.
Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can do your passion. Get started, count videos for it. Skillshare Premium classes. Skillshare is offering a 1-month free trial to the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description. Moments before witnessing the biggest playoff basketball monstrosity I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't believe him, so I had to tune into the game myself. And sure enough, there it was.
Nah, that shit was crazy.
Oh boy. In what world is this even possible? A record-breaking 64-win Suns team, fully healthy, is getting dog-walked in a Game 7 with their season on the line. Okay, well, I wasn't able to watch the first half, so I'm assuming those measly 27 points had to have come from Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I mean, there's no way they just didn't score.
Sheesh.
Huh. So, after all that traffic...
Yeah. Oh. New shoes. New shoes.
Trash talking, all that hooping and hollering after going up 2-0 in the series. This was the best the Suns had to offer. A couple weeks ago, I made a video about how the Nets, and specifically Kevin Durant, had one of the worst playoff meltdowns in recent history. But, we got a new contender. Yeah, of all the players in this year's playoffs, Chris Paul had possibly more to prove than anyone else. After a career of bad luck and, quite frankly, bad playoff performances, NBA fans were eager to see if he could lead his team to the NBA Finals again and redeem himself for their collapse last season against the Bucks. But at this point, we should have known better. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Lose an NBA record 7 consecutive Game 7s, and shame on everyone. Why am I even watching at this point? But yeah, it's one thing for Chris Paul to fall apart in a Game 7. For one reason or another, he's been doing it his entire career. But the entire Suns roster, how does the 1 seed, the best regular season team in the NBA, fall apart this badly with their season on the line? In the first half of Game 7 against the Mavericks, the Suns' starting 5 combined for 15 points on 29 shots. Luka Doncic, by himself, had 27 points on 12 shots. Chris Paul and Devin Booker combined for a whopping 3 points in the first half. 3 points. Even worse, those 3 points came from the foul line. Neither of them made a single shot. By the end of the game, the Suns' starting 5 mustered up just 37 points in 143 minutes on the court. Luka put up 35 points in just 30 minutes. I don't think I've ever seen an NBA game in my entire life that was over halfway through the second quarter. The only reason why Luka didn't drop a 50-point triple-double on these boys was because the man was on the bench by the third quarter, prepping for the Warriors in the next round. In this series featuring the Suns and the Mavericks, Luka had more points than pure scorer Devin Booker, had more assists than league-leading assist man Chris Paul, had more rebounds than 7-foot center DeAndre Jordan, and had more steals than Defensive Player of the Year runner-up Mikal Bridges. The man beat the Suns so bad, the franchise had to write an apology letter to their fans. Devin Booker spent the 2022 NBA season building a solid MVP campaign, having the best season of his career. And yet, somehow, when it mattered most, Booker put together the worst playoff game of his entire career. The man didn't even put up a fight. It's like there's no fire in him. He's not rising up in these big games. And this big game mentality is what separates guys like Luka and Giannis from others. Sure, these guys are vastly more talented than their peers, and that definitely helps. But just as valuable as their skill set and physical tools is their will to win. Luka Doncic would rather die trying than lose a Game 7 like this. The man won't back down to anyone, and he has the game to back it up. I mean, seriously, is there anything better in sports than a superstar who plays better under pressure? A player that can take the trash talk, spit it right back, and make you regret it. Luka said it best after their Game 5 loss against the Suns. Do you know how confident you have to be to say this out loud after going down 2-3 in the playoffs? This killer mentality, almost like a basketball hitman, taking names and seeking revenge, is something you're either born with or you aren't. Players like Luka, Giannis, Jimmy Butler, Ja Morant are all cut from the same cloth as guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Larry Bird. There is no end to what they will do to win. It's almost psychotic at times. Not every night will be some monumental performance, but you can guarantee that they'll go down swinging. We often wonder why some players, although extremely talented, seem to never step up to the plate when all the chips are on the table. While some players rise to the challenge and love every moment of it, others shrink under the mounting pressure of these career-defining moments. It's intangible and immeasurable, but it's there. And the thing about guys who don't have it is that they tend to underestimate the guys who do have it. In the 90s, NBA players were legitimately scared to trash talk Michael Jordan. I mean, they already knew that there was a slim chance he wasn't going to dismantle them. But at least if they kept quiet, Michael might just spare them from embarrassments in front of friends and family. Everybody's tough when they're up. And wouldn't you know it, come Game 7 when the Mavericks were up, Devin Booker was quietly sitting on the bench with not a single word to say. Which really makes you wonder if Devin Booker is cut from not the same cloth as the Kobe Bryants of the NBA world, but from the same cloth as the Chris Pauls of the NBA. There's nothing wrong with that. CP is one of the greatest point guards of all time. But if you're relying on him to close out a game with everything on the line, you might be in some trouble. Patrick Beverley has been on a Chris Paul slander campaign for the last few days, and whether it's true or not, he spoke about how NBA teams aren't all that worried about facing Chris Paul.
CP3,
No cap.
is he going to be a Hall of Fame? No question.
No cap. Like, I watch almost all of them shits. No cap.
Yeah, right. No question about it. Do guys in the NBA go to sleep early the night before playing the Phoenix Suns? Hell no. No.
You mean as a team, or would you talk about Chris Paul individually?
Chris Paul individual.
Okay.
No. I'm going to Steak 44 over there in Phoenix. I'm going to have me a nice little wine, probably sweat it out, and but the pregame shoot around and get ready for Chris Paul. Steph Curry, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. Mom, don't call me. My girl, don't call me. I'm locked in right now. It's two different monsters. That's all.
And although that's really rich coming from a guy who spent the last 8 years getting spanked by Chris Paul, I think there's probably a lot of truth to what he's saying. Chris Paul just doesn't have that hitman mentality that other greats have, and Devin Booker may not have it either. This whole Game 7 collapse, and even going back to last year's finals, reminded me of that clip from a couple years ago where Devin Booker was complaining about getting double-teamed at an open gym. Instead of embracing the challenge, he became frustrated with it. Instead of welcoming the double team to enhance his game, he complained about it. Some fans often say Devin Booker is the closest thing to Kobe Bryant in today's NBA. But don't get it twisted, because you want to know what Kobe Bryant said when he was getting double teamed?
Was people double teaming you during pickup?
Oh yeah.
And what do you think about? Like,
Say you got to send another one.
straight up.
Yeah, you got to send another one, man.
Straight the fuck.
I don't care how talented a player is. If he doesn't have a cutthroat, get out of the way, I got this mentality to his game, he will only get so far. Two superstars don't just happen to score 3 combined points in the first half of their biggest game of the season. It's one thing to get out to a slow start, but this This is the result of a player who lives and thrives off of big moments, having a field day with two players that can't help but to freeze up in big moments. Either you have it or you don't. Some players lack it, some players are honing it, and some players are made of it. Hope you all enjoy it. And as always, until next time.
Yeah, next time, man. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, man, I'm out of here.